God gave Moses tablets with 10 commandments, but that's easy. Do you know how many books there are in the Bible? You will find out the answer a little later. If you answer 21 questions correctly, it shows a very good level of knowledge. If you answer all 35 questions correctly, that is an excellent result. Please count your correct answers and write them in the comments. Let's go. Let's see how well you know this. Who built the ark to survive the flood? Abraham, Noah, Moses. Noah built the ark as God commanded. What is the first book of the Bible? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Genesis is the first book of the Bible. Who led the Israelites out of Egypt? Joshua, David, Moses. Moses led the Exodus from Egypt. What was the name of the giant David defeated? Goliath, Samson, Nebuchadnezzar. David defeated Goliath with a sling. Where was Jesus born? Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Nazareth. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. Who was the first man created by God? Abraham, Adam, Noah. Adam was the first man created. What garden did Adam and Eve live in? Zion, Eden, Gethsemane. Adam and Eve lived in the Garden of Eden. Great start. The warm-up has begun. Who betrayed Jesus for 30 silver coins? Peter, Thomas, Judas. Judas betrayed Jesus for silver. Who was the strongest man in the Bible? Samson, Saul, Goliath. Samson received great strength from God. What food did God provide in the wilderness? Bread and fish, milk and honey, manna and quail. God fed Israel with manna and quail. Who interpreted Pharaoh's dreams? Moses, Aaron, Joseph. Joseph explained Pharaoh's dreams. Which disciple walked on water with Jesus? Peter, James, John. Peter walked on water briefly. Who was Abraham's wife? Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel. Sarah was Abraham's wife. What did Jesus feed to 5,000 people? Wine and figs, bread and fish, manna and quail. Jesus fed 5,000 people with bread and fish. Not bad. You clearly know your stuff. Which book tells the story of creation? Exodus, Psalms, Genesis. Genesis describes the creation of the world. What is the last book of the Bible? Jude, Revelation, Acts. Revelation is the last book of the Bible. Who was swallowed by a big fish? Elijah, Jonah, Peter. Jonah was swallowed by a great fish. What was Jesus' first miracle? Healing the blind, walking on water, turning water into wine. Jesus turned water into wine. Who was thrown into the lion's den? Daniel, Joseph, Ezekiel. Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. What weapon did David use against Goliath? Sling, sword, spear. David used a sling to defeat Goliath. Who wrote most of the Psalms? Solomon, David, Samuel. David wrote many of the Psalms. Awesome. Your knowledge is above average. Which sea did Moses part? Sea of Galilee, Dead Sea, Red Sea. Moses parted the Red Sea. Who was the first king of Israel? David, Solomon, Saul. Saul was Israel's first king. Which prophet was taken up in a fiery chariot? Elisha, Isaiah, Elijah. Elijah was taken up in a fiery chariot. In which river was Jesus baptized? Jordan, Nile, Euphrates. Jesus was baptized in the Jordan River. Who was the first person to see Jesus after the resurrection? John, Peter, Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was the first to see the risen Jesus, who was turned into a pillar of salt. Lot's wife, Rebecca, Sarah. Lot's wife was turned into a pillar of salt. What was Luke's profession? Doctor, tax collector, fisherman. Luke was a doctor. Wow, you're almost an expert. Just one final push. Who was David's closest friend? Saul, Nathan, Jonathan. Jonathan was David's closest friend. What was Paul's name before his conversion? Saul, Simon, Stephen. Paul was originally named Saul? Who built the first temple in Jerusalem? Saul, David, Solomon. Solomon built the first temple. Who was the Roman governor at Jesus' crucifixion? Herod, Pilate, Caesar. Pontius Pilate ordered Jesus' crucifixion. Which disciple doubted Jesus' resurrection? Thomas, Andrew, Philip. Thomas doubted Jesus' resurrection. How many days did God take to create the world? 6, 5, 7. God created the world in 6 days. Which disciple denied Jesus 3 times? Peter, Andrew, John. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Finish. Excellent result. Congratulations. You completed the quiz. And now the answer to the very first question. How many books are in the Bible? But before you find out, please pause the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and write in the comments your result and the question that interested you the most. So, here's the answer. The number of books in the Bible depends on the Christian tradition. In most Protestant Bibles, there are 66 books. In the Catholic Bible, there are 73 books, including additional Old Testament texts. In Orthodox Bibles, there are between 76 and 81 books, depending on the church. Did you know this right away?
Support me with a like, share with a friend, and take the next quiz.